In this song lesson, we're going to take a look at the old blues classic, Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. Bessie Smith has a famous recording of this. The one that I grew up with was Eric Clapton's from his Unplugged album. It's a great song. This is a great example of a tune where the chord changes are moving around in such a way that you're not able to play the same scale kind of and sweep or skate over the top. So you really have to address the chord changes individually. We'll talk more about that, but it's a great chord progression, and one that's really effective to get under your fingertips. So here we go.
You when you're down and out. Began to fall so low, lost all my good friends, had nowhere to go. If I get my hands on $1 again, I'm gonna hang on to it, to that old evil grin. 'Cause nobody knows you when you're down and out. In your pocket, not one penny. And as for friends, you don't have any.
The first version is open chords. So you start with your open G. So you take your third finger, put it on the third fret of the sixth string, and then you play the open fourth, third, and second string. So you play that twice. Now you move to a B7 chord. So your second finger goes to the second fret of the fifth string. Your first finger goes to the first fret of the fourth string, and your third finger goes to the second fret of the third string. You play that twice. Now you're going to move to an E dominant seventh chord. So you're going to play the open sixth string, the open fourth string, first fret of the third string, and open second string. You play this 4 times. Now you're going to move to an A minor 7 chord. So you play the open fifth string, the second fret of the fourth string, the open third string, and the first fret of the second string. You play this twice. Now you go back to your E7 chord twice. Now back to your A minor 7 chord 4 times. Now you move up to a C chord, just your regular old C chord. So you've got your third finger on the third fret of the fifth string, your second finger on the second fret of the fourth string, the open third string, and your first fret of the second string. You're going to play this twice. Now you're going to move to an A dominant seventh chord. So you're going to play your fifth string open, your second fret of your fourth string, your open third string, and your second fret of the second string. Now you're going to go back to the G chord that you started with. Now back to the E7 chord for 2 times. Now back to the A7 chord. Again, this is open fifth string, second fret of the fourth string, open third string, and second fret of the second string. You're going to play that 4 times. Now finally you resolve to a D7 chord, which so you play your open fourth string, your D string, your second fret of the third string, and your first fret of the second string. You play that. Here's the lead guitar part for Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. So this one I've kind of broken up into 6 different kind of riff collections, just to make it easier to kind of talk through. So the first riff sounds like this. So just like that. So you're going to start with your third finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and you can slide into that. Now you're going to bar across the 3rd fret of the 1st and 2nd string. You're going to play 2nd string and then 1st string. Now to the 5th fret of the 2nd string. Now your second finger goes to the 4th fret of the 2nd string. Now you're going to go to the 4th fret of the 3rd string with your 1st finger. Now you're going to land with your 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. Now you're going to go to the 4th fret of the 3rd string, 5th fret of the 4th string, second finger goes to the 4th fret of the 4th string, and finally land with your first finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So there's kind of the end of a phrase. Now you start the next one with your first finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, 7th fret of the 4th string with your 3rd finger, back to the 5th fret, up to the 7th fret of the 3rd string, now down to the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Now move from the 5th to the 7th fret of the 4th string. Now lay a bar down across the 5th fret of the 3rd and 2nd string. Just like that. So those together look like this.
Nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows you when you're down